Been a long week, bro.
It has been, man. Has been. I just taped an episode of Locked On Spurs this morning.
Oh, nice. Hey, so how was the meatball soup that Chica made? Looked pretty good. Oh, it did. It looked pretty good.
It was pretty damn good. What's so funny is that she made fun of me and she was like, "Hey, I also made some chalupas, right?" She goes, "In case you didn't like it, she made chalupas. I ate both. It was all said and done."
You can put on that love weight, bro. You eating good over there now.
Oh, dude, man. But I've been fasting, man. This is day 5 of my fast. I'm going 16 to 18 hours without eating, dude. And that's the way I got to get back into shape.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, man. That meatball soup looked pretty good, man.
Oh, it was thick, dude. Lots of meatballs. A couple of flour tortillas to go with it.
Stick to the bone kind of shit.
Had some peas. Had some peas and potatoes in there.
Yeah,
it's good stuff, dude.
What's up, Matt Lerma? Thanks for joining, man.
That is food for love right there. That's how you know someone loves you. Is that they make food for you.
They make you food, comida.
Yeah, good food.
Yeah,
you know, they're not making you ham and cheese sandwich, dude. Even when Chica makes me the ham and cheese sandwich, it has the lettuce and the tomatoes all sliced nice in there. She slices pickles on top, not pickle slices, like little chopped up pickles.
Yeah,
in there. It's good stuff, man.
We got Alex Noriega joining us. What's up, Alex?
What's up, Al? Big Al.
Yeah. So we got some people straggling in here. And that's why we got the 2-minute buffer. Yeah, man, it was a hell of a show the Knicks and Pacers put on yesterday, man.
Yeah, I posted on my Twitter account the photo of Reggie Miller and Haliburton doing the choke job. We'll show that later on. Here we go.
Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of the Area 210 podcast with Mike Jimenez and Joe Garcia. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Join the discussion as we broadcast to you live from beautiful West San Antonio. And remember to tip your hosts as it helps the show grow.
What's up, San Antonio? What's going on, South Texas? This is the Area 210 podcast. My name is Mike Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia. We go for about an hour and a half talking sports, pop culture, nostalgia. We have to talk about the epic choke job of the New York Knicks last night. Called it. Joe and I, we both called it. What do we say? Knicks will be up by halftime, and they'll blow it down the stretch. But we didn't realize they would blow it in epic proportion, Joe. This was an epic choke job. Up 9 with less than a minute to go, and they lose that game, Joe. We've been calling it. Team of Destiny, the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah.
I'm a little scared of them.
I'm telling you, I've been telling you guys about the Indiana Pacers for some time now. And I said that this is a scrappy team that plays well together. They have good role players. They're well coached. And they just get physical and they get it done, man. There's no quitting them. This is a special type of team of destiny type of shit, dude. And I'm telling you, man, if I was a betting man, and I'm betting the house on the Indiana Pacers to win the NBA championship. I don't care if they go against Oklahoma City. I'm picking the Pacers to win the whole damn thing.
Our good friend Jonathan C., who follows our show, reached out to me yesterday and said, dude, he won big money last night because he bet Knicks first half. He bet the Pacers second half, and boom, it happened, man. This is the third game, Joe, this postseason that the Pacers have won, being down 7 with a minute to go in the game. And the stat of all stats today is the number 1,414 and 0. In NBA history, being down 9 with a minute to go in the game, teams are down 9. Teams are 0 and 14, Joe. 1,414 games. This was the first time in NBA history that a team lost a game like this in the playoffs, up 9 with less than a minute to go, went into overtime, and all that had to happen for the Pacers to win this game, because we ask about this being a choke job or not, right? Because typically what ends up happening is a team goes a stretch where they're not making a bucket, like the Timberwolves the other day, right? Went like a 6 to 8 minute stretch where they hadn't made any buckets. That didn't happen. This was a close game throughout, and then the Knicks went on a 14-0 run in the fourth quarter and opened up this lead, Joe. They opened up a lead of 14, 15 points, It got down to about 8 or 9 points, but still, that's a 3-possession game with less than a minute to go. So it wasn't like a 6 or 8 minute long collapse by the Knicks. It was a 1-minute F up. And the Knicks shot 3 after 3 after 3. You saw the Knicks get stupid turnovers. You had that referee decision right there when it was called a foul on the Pacers. They went to go review it. They had the balls to reverse it and give Indiana the ball. It was amazing, dude. This was what an epic collapse by the New York Knicks. And I think about like on the pantheon of gut punches. We've been on this as Spurs fans, right? Game 6, Ray Allen knocking down that 3. It didn't end the series, but it may as well have. It's possible, even though this is just game 1, the series might effectively be over, because how do you overcome this, Joe? Indiana went over there, stole game 1 in a heartbreaking fashion. Tyrese Haliburton, show the choke the choke symbol.
The choke symbol again. We'll show it.
Yeah. So Haliburton knocks down this shot at the buzzer to send the game into overtime. Everyone in the building thought it was the game winner, right? Because he drove into the lane, decided to come back.
I want to see if I can find the video.
Try to shoot a 3. The ball clanks off the back of the rim, goes up about 8 feet above the rim. It's out of the viewing of the television screen, right? It goes above it, comes straight back down through the hoop. Everyone celebrates. All the Pacers jump out, run onto the court, celebrate a win. But it turns out that was a 2-point shot. His right toe was across the line. Goes into overtime. Indiana still wins this game in overtime. I believe it scores 138-135. One of the highest scoring games in NBA history. This is courtesy of TNT down the stretch. Reminiscent of Reggie Miller when he pulled back out for that 3-point shot. But here's Tyrese Haliburton, supposedly the most overrated player in the NBA, according to his NBA counterparts.
Haliburton. He'll take it. He'll backpedal a 3 for the win. And goal! He got it!
Amazing, courtesy of TNT. The presence of mind to not only bring the ball back and shoot a fadeaway 3, but then to have the presence of mind to do the celebratory choke job, which Reggie Miller made famous back in the mid-90s. Again, it ended up being a 2-point shot. I was talking to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5 about this earlier today. That shot reminded me of Kawhi Leonard when he shot that 3-pointer against Philly for the Toronto Raptors when they made their championship run. You feel like you're a team of destiny when certain shots go in that don't normally go in. When it goes around the rim, or in this case, goes off the back of the rim, shoots up about 8 to 10 feet, and then comes back down, nothing but net on the way back down.
You know what's happening right now? Knicks fans are waking up. Even yesterday when they were leaving Madison Square Garden, and even as they were watching the game, this was their reaction.
What the fuck is this?
And we got an incoming super chat here by Matt
Lerma, $10.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Yeah, says Matt Lerma says Haliburton took that overrated poll personally. This game was magnificent. Knicks fans beat up a dude wearing a Haliburton jersey. This is their karma. Hey, Knicks fans, bing bong, F your life. From Matt Lerma. Okay, so here's the thing about it. I know it's game 1, so it's a best of 7 series, and what's that old saying? The better team always wins.
Yeah.
The better team always wins. But for the Pacers to go in there in game 1 and just rip the soul out of that team and that fan base. Imagine being in the stands and filtering out of Madison Square Garden. How would you feel as a fan? We experienced this. I've experienced this twice in my lifetime.
Yeah.
2013, Ray Allen knocked down that 3, game 6. Did it end the series? No, but man, it just sucked the soul out of the Spurs, and they lose it in game 7. As a football fan, the Houston Oilers back in the 90s up 35-3 against the Buffalo Bills, and seeing them choke that game away.
And I watched that game as a kid, and I even I knew back then that was a special game.
That was, man. That was. If there are certain moments in sports history where you look back and you think to yourself, how did that happen? And for Tyrese Haliburton to grab the symbol the same way that Reggie Miller did back in the 90s, again, of course the Knicks are playing the Pacers. It's meant to be that way. But let me ask you this question, Joe. Think Halliburton's going to get fined? And if so, is it going to be a hefty fine or a little fine for doing that choke symbol?
You know, I was thinking the same damn thing last night, and I took a picture. This is the picture that I took on my screen. I got to tell you, Mike, I was thinking, you know what? I don't know if it's going to be such a hefty fine as, let's say, some of the other stupidity that's gone on in the league. You know, what did you have? The guns. Remember you had that? The shooting of the guns. I don't think it's going to warrant that type of fine, you know, where they're going to fine him a lot, but I think they're going to do something to him. I don't know how much it's going to cost him, but I mean, they don't like these celebratory acts, you know, when you're winning a game or you're doing something to celebrate. So they're going to set an example. I believe he's going to wind up getting a fine, maybe 50 grand or so. But I mean, you think about it in the grand scheme of things and how much they get paid. That's not like a little slap on the wrist, but he's like, look, it was one of those things. His aura, he said, was in the moment. So he went ahead and did this. But if he does it again, he's going to be accused of aura farming. So it's kind of a one-off, you know, just one of those things that happen. He'll probably pay the fine, move on. But either way, dude, this was a heck of a game. And I got to say, man, I kind of knew, I had a feeling that something was going to happen when Naismith was just coming up and shooting threes like nobody's business. I'm like, this guy is more than throbbing, Mike. He's on fire.
Aaron Naismith was throbbing last night. Shot 8 of 9 from 3, knocked down 6 3-pointers in the fourth quarter, had 30 points. Haliburton had 31 points. You know what hurts my feelings a little bit? Is that you go back to the 2020 draft, the Spurs passed on both Haliburton and Naismith in that draft. We got Devin Vassell instead. Devin Vassell. Yeah. So I'm looking at the rundown here of who was drafted where that particular draft. Devin Vassell was taken number 11 by the Spurs. Haliburton was taken next player at number 12, and Aaron Naismith was taken at number 14. Absolutely brutal to look back, and because those guys are not only in the playoffs, but they're making not only all-star in the sense of Tyrese Haliburton, but they're actually making plays, big-time plays in the playoffs, and Devin Vassell has yet to sniff the court as an NBA player in the playoffs.
The Pacers fans have a lot to go ahead and be thankful for. And one, they have to be thankful for Aaron Naismith. I mean, look at this brother, 30 points, 8 of 9 from 3. Mm-hmm. He had 6 3-pointers in the fourth quarter, man. He even bested the great Reggie Miller in that epic performance that he had against the Knicks from years ago. And how fitting was it to have Miller there to go ahead and witness, you know, Reggie Miller 2.0, the debacle. Mm-hmm. And he's just there pointing at Haliburton at the end of the day. You know, they kind of gave each other a little look and he's just pointing at him. And we saw that, you know, because he was proud of the Knicks, and not the Knicks, but he proud of the Pacers for that miraculous comeback that they had. But if it would took some special, let's say, juice or sauce out of not only Naismith, but also Haliburton. And let's be honest, I know somebody in here was saying it was a lucky shot. It was a lucky shot, but you know what? Sometimes that's all you need. You just needed a chance. Tyrese Haliburton had a shot. He took it, and the basketball gods smiled upon him and let that ball hop up high and go right back in. And that's all she wrote. And it extended the opportunity for the Pacers to go ahead and get this win. Because let's be honest, when you went into overtime, the Knicks went up on the Pacers by 4 points right away. But then that was it. The wheels came off. They just kept on making boneheaded move after boneheaded move. And you have to go ahead and point to Coach Thibs. This comes down to coaching at the end of the day. And he just didn't have his team prepared.
Joe, how throbbing was Aaron Naismith yesterday? You know I like effective field goal shooting percentage, right? I'm looking at these stats that you have up there. I'm doing the calculations on my phone right now. 55% is decent for his type of what he does on the court. 60% is like on fire, right? 60% is on fire. His effective field goal shooting percentage yesterday was 288%.
Jesus.
He shot the ball 9 times and made 26 points out of those 9 attempts. Again, he had 30 for the night, but 4 of them were from the free throw line. He shot 9 times and made 26 points. That's an effective shooting percentage of 288.9%. That's stupid.
That deserves
that's ridiculous. But my goodness, man, it was so much fun to watch. And then you have a small market team going up against the biggest of the big market teams.
Yeah.
And the collapse of Karl Anthony Towns. And dude, it was stupid things like up 9 with 55 seconds to go. I don't know. How about run the clock out?
Yeah.
What are you doing shooting the ball with 16 seconds left? I don't care if you're wide the F open. What are you doing shooting the ball with 16 seconds left on the clock? Have them foul you. Waste some time. Play keep away. They didn't do that.
Isn't that the coach's fault, though? Shouldn't he call a timeout if they have any to, expend and then say, what the F are you guys doing?
I would say it's the coach's fault if it's a young team. But Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, they're veterans, man. They know
don't matter,
better.
though. You got a coach there. He can call a timeout and say, what the hell are you guys doing? Run the clock. Eat the clock.
You can't blame the coach every single time something bad happens. In this sense, again, if they're young, blame the coach because he needs to gather them. But Brunson's been through battles. Karl Anthony Towns has been through battles. These aren't young players. These are players that have been around the block for a while. They should know better. They should not be told to do the obvious, right?
Yeah.
But beyond all that, beyond getting blown out or collapsing the way that they did in epic fashion, you have your former first-round draft pick doing it to you in Obi Toppin as well. So Obi Toppin goes back to Madison Square Garden and goes after his own team.
Yeah.
And this is where we need to talk about it as a Spurs fan collective here, because we see this team, this Indiana Pacers team, which might make it to the NBA Finals. Do they need to be a super team to make that happen? Or are they just simply a very, very good collection of players? Well, let's look at their lineup here. They have 2 All-Stars or former All-Stars in Pascal Siakam, and they've got Tyrese Haliburton. Then they've got shooters, Naismith and Nembhard. Then they've got a rebounder in Turner, and then off the bench, Obi Toppin, and then another shooter in TJ McConnell.
Yeah, and don't forget they got Pascal Siakam as well.
This is just a very good collection of players that come together and they know their role. They know what they need to do. And this was a team that went 50-32 in the regular season and has, what's it called? Just advance, just survive and advance. Just keep surviving and advancing is what they're doing. And this gives hope to the Spurs fans, because you look at this roster here, Joe. This team is not a super team. You compare this roster to the Phoenix Suns, which barely made 500, and this team is better because it's a team. It is not a collection of all-stars, which is what worries me about the Spurs going out and getting a Giannis, is that, okay, we have De'Aaron Fox, Giannis, and Wemby, but then we have no bench, and maybe we have a shooter or two, but we have no bench. Is that the way that you want to go? Or do you want to go the way that the Pacers have done it? Do you want to go the way that the Oklahoma City Thunder have done it, where it's not about superstars, it's about a good collection of teammates that fit together and mold in and blend in together, Joe?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I've been telling Spurs fan. Now that the Spurs have that number 2 overall pick, I would just stand pat, get that number 2 overall pick, get 14. And that thing was like, the second round was it? They got like the 38th pick or something like that, 32nd. Just stick with that, man. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Go ahead and just stick with the players that you have. Bring in some veteran talent to go ahead and solidify some of the other gaping issues they have as far as shooting. And, maybe bring in a guy that can play solid 3-and-D. There you go, man. You don't necessarily need a team, laden with NBA superstars, bona fide all-stars. You just need a very good team, and I think that's what we're seeing with the Pacers. But we do have some super chats we need to get to here.
Yeah.
And one of those is coming from Mario Cavazos.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
And thank you, Mario. Appreciate that, man. And he's saying, same feeling of finding you were dating a stripper.
Oh yeah, back in the day, that's one of the tall tales right there that did actually happen. It's funny about that is that the shock and surprise of it all, right? That's what he's alluding to. The shock of losing a game like this. And you mentioned these players. Thank you so much, by the way, Mario, for the super chat. You look at this game, and you look at this Pacers team. And this Pacers team, we use the phrase all the time, Joe. Do they have dog in them?
No.
Haliburton has more dog than we gave him credit for. Maybe, as Matt Lammer alluded to, maybe it's that poll, which wasn't the first time, by the way. This was the second time he was named the most overrated player in the NBA, according to his peers in an anonymous poll on The Athletic and New York Times. But he's got dog in him. Naismith definitely does. Miles Turner definitely does. Nembhard does. Obi Toppin does. This is a team, Joe. You can tell they enjoy playing with each other. You enjoy that they enjoy each other as friends and as teammates and all that stuff. What a great scene in Madison Square Garden. Can you imagine, Joe, if Haliburton had done that choke symbol and then they lost in overtime?
Yeah.
I like this chart, Joe. The odds of the Knicks winning the game was 99.7%. With 2 minutes and 51 seconds to go. Beyond losing a 9-point lead in a minute, losing a 14-point lead in 2.5 minutes. Absolutely insanely brutal.
Debacle. And then
the Pacers to go off and hold serve and actually steal the game in overtime was amazing, man.
Yeah, and we also got another incoming super chat here from Jason Garcia.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
And he goes on to say the Indy comeback wasn't the only one last night.
He's probably referring to a different sport.
He's talking about hockey.
About hockey? Lehal says he's late, but F them picks. We've already been talking about you. Lehal. Lehal, by the way, is with MCS General Contracting, which powers the super chat that we have over here. Thank you so much. Yeah. So going back to Jason Garcia, if you could put it on the chat, exactly what you're alluding to, we'll be more than happy to discuss as well. But here's the thing, man. As Mexican Junior says on our chat here, we could have drafted Haliburton. We could have drafted Naismith, but we got Devin Vassell, but he calls him Devin Vagisil. Oh my God. I had not seen that. And this whole idea that Charles Barkley had after the game by saying, well, you could tell the Knicks got tired. What the hell does that mean? The Knicks got tired. They're up 14 with 2:50 to go, up 9 with 55 seconds to go. You got tired? They didn't get tired. They choked. They missed a couple of free throws. They had stupid plays down the stretch. They got stuffed at the rim. Naismith knocked down 6 3-pointers in the fourth quarter. You have that incredible bounce that went Haliburton's way. I know it's quote-unquote just one game, but at the end of the day, who has all the pressure going into game 2? It's the Knicks, right? Because the Knicks can't go to Indianapolis down 2-0 because guess what? They won't be coming out.
And look at this chart right here, should I say, by Tyrese, that they have of Tyrese Haliburton. He's been the 5th best performer this postseason per Hoops Hype global rating. Indiana is the only team with 5 players in the top 30, bro, as far as performance goes in the postseason. This is a very good Pacers team, should I say. And I'm telling you, man, I would bet the house right damn now, that this Pacers team is going to win it all. I think they're just a team of destiny right now.
Man, but they're going to go through that buzzsaw. That's the Oklahoma City Thunder. I would cheer for the Pacers if they played OKC in the finals, but that's a buzzsaw, dude. That is wave after wave of talent on that team. It's about matchups when it comes to it all. Chris Guevara says, I hate that New York fan base, he says on our chat. Says, bing bong, you choked. F them. I get it, dude. Because I watch the ESPN shows sometimes, right? Yeah, Stephen A. Smith and Mike Greenberg and all them, the elitists that is New York residents, right? They believe that they're better and superior to others, and they get a team from Indiana to go over there and just steal that game, steal their collective souls, and F them. I agree. Stephen A. Smith, and even though I like Mike Greenberg, and he's probably not that bad of a dude, Mad Dog and all that guy, Molly Curum, F all of them. Okay? The city of New York is completely overrated. It's complete. I've gone there several times. I've been in New York City 6-7 times in my lifetime, right? Didn't live there, but I've gone there 6-7 times in my lifetime. I enjoy being there. Would I ever want to live there? No, because they're all full of themselves. Jonathan C. with a super chat.
Yeah, he's got an incoming super chat. Thank you, Jonathan.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
All right, Joe, I'm going to let you read this one.
Yeah, Jonathan, thank you. Jonathan C., thank you so much. We appreciate everybody's super chat, by the way. We really do. He says, thanks, Mike, for calling every game, making me money.
That's right. He DM'd me yesterday. He goes, dude, I hit hard. Like, not only did you hit hard, imagine holding a gambling ticket, right, for that game, and you win off of that. That's ridiculously amazing.
Look at this stat here, right here. It's a screen grab, right? I'm going to go ahead and share this. And
yeah.
This is what's happened with the Pacers, man, all in one playoff run. You know, they were down to Milwaukee, you know, and it shows with 34.7 seconds left, you know, in overtime there, 118 to 111. They came back. They were down to Cleveland, 119 to 112 with 46.7 seconds left in the fourth quarter, and they came back. And then they were down 121 to 112 with 52.5 seconds left in the fourth quarter, come back to send it into OT and ultimately win this game.
Yeah,
that's team of destiny kind of shit, dude. I'm telling you.
It is. It is. Now, let me ask you this question about Tyrese Haliburton. Remember, his father has been kicked out of games.
Yeah,
because he went up and he had an altercation with Giannis during the first round of the playoffs. There are reports out there that he was actually at a bar celebrating the victory. So he wasn't at the game with his son. Do you think that Haliburton's dad has served enough of a sentence where he should be allowed back to the games? Or is he the lucky charm away from them? Because again, you know, hey, they're winning without you there. What do you think about Haliburton's dad? What should they do with him?
I think they should let the brother come back. He made a mistake, man. You know, I think it's important for him to be able to experience these moments with his son, dude. It's like you're taking away these special moments between a father and a son because he acted dumb in one game. Give him another chance and let's see what he can do.
Well, did they take it away, or did he just deserve to have it taken?
He deserved it. He deserved it. You know, he was used to being stupid, but I'm like, let's give him a chance. Look at Sir Charles was on Inside the NBA and asking that, hey, man, you know what? Let his daddy come back. Listen to him.
Courtesy TNT.
I want to reach out to Adam Silver tomorrow. He sent me a nice text tonight. I want to reach out to Adam Silver tomorrow. Me and Draymond were talking. It's time to let Mr. Haliburton back in the building.
Yes, it is.
Adam, I'm asking you, hey, my man paid his dues. He did something really, really stupid, but he's been punished. And I'm asking you and the Indiana Pacers to let Mr. Haliburton back in the building for game 3 and 4. I mean, he paid his dues. It shouldn't be indefinite. He's been punished enough. He would never do anything that stupid again. So, Adam, you know how much I love you. And my man Kevin Pritchard, y'all let Mr. Haliburton back in the building for game 3. Can I say something?
Okay, so let him back in. I don't know if it was for the rest of the playoffs. Is that what it was?
Yeah, man. They banned him, bro. He gone. He gone.
Okay, I would say this. Ban him until you reach the point where the Pacers could win the finals.
Bro, let him free now. What's the harm, bro? Let him free, man.
You know what? You don't know what he's up to. What if he does it again? What if he goes up to Jalen Brunson at that point?
Maybe
how stupid would the NBA look at that point?
At this point, what you got to do is you got to go ahead and just be like, put somebody on that brother. You know, like, you know, he might come out on the court. You'd be like, no, sir, you're gonna stay right here. Have security come over there. You know, at the end of the game, you know what's gonna end. Have him stand right there in front of daddy and be like, no, sir, You ain't going to be on that court. If your boy wants to come up to you in the stands, he can do that, but you're not going to be allowed on the court, but you're going to be allowed to watch the game.
If he's stupid enough to do it one time, he's stupid enough to do it a second time.
Yeah, man. But you know what, Mike? You got to go ahead and let people live, brother. You got to go ahead and give them another chance, man.
But why?
Why not? I mean, it's like this, man. Let's say you're with Chica.
If
and y'all dispatch, right? Because I don't know, maybe you were doing something dumb, and then you all get back together. Don't you deserve a second chance, bro?
Well, here's the thing. What if Giannis had taken a swing at him?
But he didn't.
No, but it's the what ifs though. But he didn't. The what ifs though are big because the what ifs tell you what could have happened, dude. You know, he didn't know that he was Haliburton's dad. It could have been just some fan out there. What if it was a Malice at the Palace type of situation? You know.
Hey man, Daddy Haliburton didn't back down from Giannis, bro. Respect.
Sam Salina says, "What if he does it again? Did he kill anyone? Did he physically harm anyone? Did he do anything illegal? No, actually, he did do something illegal. That was trespassing. He had no right to be on the NBA court. I buy a ticket to the Frost Bank Center. Yeah. I have no right to be on the court. They have security guards to prevent me from being on the court. So did he do something illegal? Damn straight he did. He trespassed.
Case in point, our boy Fernandez, man. You can't go ahead and text while you're at a Spurs game that you're going to storm the court because they're going to find your ass. They know where you're sitting, man. You can't be doing stuff like that. You know, I get it. You know, and this was Tyrese Haliburton after the game as he's going through the tunnel. Listen to what he's saying, man. You know what? And talk your shit, King. Talk your shit.
Yeah! Why are you so quiet? Yeah! Say something about me, P. Say something about me, P.
Let's go.
You hear what he said? Why is it so quiet? Why is it so quiet? Yeah.
But here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. It is one game, but now the Knicks have to win game 2. They have to win game 2. The series is over if Indiana goes in there, wins game 2, and I hope they do. I'm not looking for this epic 7-game series. I don't want this to go back to Madison Square Garden for game 7 and massive ratings. So you know what I want? I want Indiana to go up there and curb stomp them. I want them to curb stomp them. You know why? Because we know what's going to happen in the Western Conference. We know that OKC is going to annihilate Minnesota. It's not even going to be close. That's a 5-game series tops.
Oh, look, I was going to show you the reaction, which was very funny, man. This was from courtesy of Barstool Sports. So they're kind of doing a live reaction to the game as it's unfolding there.
Yeah.
With some of their staff members. And they have like I guess a lounge or something where they're watching this. Check this out.
Oh, dude. Oh my God, dude. No. Get up on him. Oh my God, no.
Oh my God.
No way.
Bounce it.
Yes! Oh! He did the choke! Give me that! Never stop believing! Never stop!
Okay. Screw Knicks fan, dude. Screw the city of New York. Screw every single borough that's there. We don't care. Elitist Fs. You know what? Who said a flyover finals? Indiana against Oklahoma, middle of the country. Man, screw the West Coast and the East Coast, baby. We're Spurs fans. We're Spurs fans. We're up that alley too, man.
Yeah, I got to tell you, man. Last night I got out of work, man. Work was another hard day at work, man. I'll tell you that. It's been really busy. So I'm getting out of work. You know, I'm like, oh man, I went over a little bit when I'm supposed to get out right at 9 because again, you know, it's been so busy. And I immediately turn on the TV because I got that TV right in front of my desk. And I'm watching the game, man. I'm watching the Indiana Pacers game, dude. And I'm just there chilling out. And I'm just like, dude, this is a hell of a game, man. They're coming back. And at the very end, when that ball just went in after Tyrese Haliburton hit that 3, well, it was a 2 because he had his toe on the line. You should have just heard me, man. I just jumped up and I was screaming and yelling. Everybody in the house was like, what's going on? What's happening? It was fun times, dude. I appreciated that game. It's been a while since I got excited for a playoff game of that caliber, but it was great, dude. I enjoyed it quite a bit. You had a lot of things going on after that game, and there was a graphic I wanted to show about the actual ratings for said game, man. When they were comparing it, to the actual Super Bowl ratings. Believe it or not, this game between the Pacers and the Knicks was just one viewer shy of tying the Super Bowl ratings that were pulled in for
Really?
this past Super Bowl. Man, look at what they had here, and this is courtesy of Real Sports. And they said the Eastern Conference Game 1 had just 1.1K fewer views than the Super Bowl. So look at it, and you're looking at it, and it had Super Bowl had 412.2K, right? And then you're looking at what happened here was 410.1K.
On what platform again?
Now, I think they were saying fewer viewers. I think this is probably going to be for the streaming platforms. So right now, this is being gauged as far as it being shown on the Max or HBO Max.
Well, this is so on streaming services. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's fascinating how these series have all come about. You go into it, the 1 seed and 2 seed both get knocked out of the Eastern Conference. You're seeing a battle between a 3 and a 4. On the other side, you've got Minnesota, who shouldn't be there, repping the Western Conference as well. It's fascinating. You can get excited about any matchup when it comes to it, as long as it involves Oklahoma City. If Oklahoma City plays New York, I'm there for it. If they play Indiana, I'm there for it. If Minnesota is involved in any aspect of this, I have no desire to watch the finals at that point.
And look at this. These are the ratings that came about from Game 1 of the Timberwolves Thunder Western Conference. It said it was a bit of a flop, a ratings flop. It said it was down 24% from last year, and it was the least watched conference final game since COVID delayed 2021 edition. So it hadn't been very good here in the Western Conference as far as the ratings have gone for said game. And the thing is that the Western Conference finals, I believe, are being shown exclusively on ESPN. Like ESPN has the rights, so they show a lot of these games on ESPN. And then I think they were showing a number of some of these games on the Max as well. It's weird how they have everything split up, but it doesn't bode very well for ESPN, because at the end of the day, you're looking to have ratings, go up, so you can go ahead and make more money, because you're trying to sell slots to these advertisers, and if you're not, let's say, garnering the viewership, that means that the price has just gone down for the slots that you're going to be selling. It's a numbers game.
Well, last year's Western Conference Finals was between the Dallas Mavericks and the Minnesota Timberwolves. On the other side, keep in mind, if you take a look at the Celtics and the Pacers last year, the Pacers were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. They got swept.
Yeah.
They got swept, so they're trying to exercise some demons when it comes to it all, because that fan base, that's a good fan base, dude. Indiana basketball fan. We see this with Caitlin Clark's team as well. There's a basketball that you talk about NBA being, what do they say? New York is basketball mecca. Bull crap. That's what they say, right? The real mecca of basketball is probably Indiana, right? That's kind of where the fan base, I would even say Raleigh-Durham, that area where Duke and North Carolina, that's basketball mecca in my eyes. I don't see New York City and Rucker Park being the reason why.
Well, wasn't your
people give
movie,
a crap.
that infamous movie Hoosiers, wasn't that based out of Indiana?
Based out of Indiana, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look at this. You have this stat here from last night, and this is showing you what Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns both did for their team, even though they lost. Jalen Brunson had 43 points, 5 assists. Karl Anthony Towns had 35 points and 12 rebounds. Unfortunately, they didn't get enough help out of the supporting cast to go ahead and best the comeback from the Pacers.
Yeah, the Dallas Mavericks not only traded Luka Doncic, they also traded Jalen Brunson back in the day. Yeah. So, I mean, those are some big names that they've gotten rid of over the past few years or so. The Knicks played well up until the final minute of the game. You see, that's the weird thing about this choke job, is that sometimes you see a choke job happen where it's over the course of 6 to 8 minutes, where it's like, man, we just couldn't hit the side of the barn. We just sucked ass. They had just gone on a 14-0 run, Joe.
Yeah.
So it's not like they fell off a cliff. It was weird. This was the weirdest choke because it was so not expected because they were stretching the lead. They stretched it out to 14. So it's kind of bizarre because it all happened in 50 seconds. And that makes that choke job unique in the way that it happened. Like for the Houston Oilers, for example, 35-3, then it was 35-10, then it was 35-17, then it was 35-24, then it was 35-31, then it became 38-35, right?
Yeah.
It was a thing that happened over the course of 2.5 quarters, and it was something that happened over like an hour and a half of real time. Yeah. Whereas this all happened in 50 seconds of game time, and then like actual real-time minutes was like 8 minutes. It was a weird meltdown. I had never seen anything like that before, Joe.
Yeah, and we also have a comment coming in from a new viewer here. It's that San Antovato. Thank you for tuning in here. Welcome to the show. And he says in the mid-50s, he goes, I'm in my mid-50s and have been watching basketball since 1980. And man, the playoffs have been fire this year. He says, I'm glad to not have to watch LeBron, Curry, Durant, Joker, Tatum in the playoffs this year. New blood. I think that's a consensus all around, is that you got new players that you're watching right now instead of the same old. And you're not having a team from LA. You're not having a team from Texas in the Western Conference Finals, you know?
Yeah. That's it. You know, there's going to be a new face to it all, whether it be SGA, who won the MVP last night, whether it be Ant-Man, Haliburton, whether it be Brunson. You know, those. I'm looking at the highlight again of Halliburton's long two. That thing went above the score clock, the shot clock. It just went way above it. It probably was 10 feet up in the air.
It went. I thought it was like gonna go and just go behind the backboard, but it went straight up. It went right back in. I was like, whoa, what a lucky bounce, man. And we also have El Jefe himself in the chat right now.
Oh, nice.
Look at what he's asking, Mike.
He says MJ is the way New York lost enough to break their backs for the whole series. Just one game. It's just one game in a 7-game series, but from the outlook of the players, I mean, think about it this way: the pressure now goes to New York because
Sorry,
no problem. The pressure goes towards the Knicks now.
Yeah,
because had the Pacers lost a close game, they would, that would be one thing, right? But for them to have this aura about themselves, this team of destiny, because they're doing that, right? They're doing the no one believes in us type of thing.
Jeez, look
that no one wants us to win. They're doing the whole thing about how we're the team of destiny. We came back from 7 against the Bucks. We came back down 8 against the Cavaliers. We're coming back down 9 against the Knicks, all with less than a minute to go in the game. We are destined to win the finals. That's what makes this more than just one game, because you have this invincibility of the Pacers who have a confidence level. They're not going to go into game 2 and lay down and be happy with getting a stealing home court advantage. Let's just go back to Indiana. They're not going to be happy with that. They're of the belief that they're walking on water at this point, that they are the chosen ones at this point.
Mike, look at this play again, man. Look at how high the ball bounced. Oh, God.
Jeez. Team of destiny.
Damn.
Team of destiny. And by the way, I liked who was getting in the way to say that it was a 2-point shot down the stretch when Haliburton hit that 3. It was the actor Timothy Chalamet, who was right there going, wasn't that a 2? Wasn't that a 2? But the officials were right on it, and they nailed it. Haliburton having that presence of mind. Wasn't that reminiscent of the Knicks and Pacers when Reggie Miller stole the ball, went back to the wing and chunked that 3 and knocked it down?
Yeah.
Very, very reminiscent of it all. And of course it's the Knicks and Pacers. Of course it's the Knicks and Pacers. It has to be. That's the way God intended this series to be, because the Pacers and Knicks are rivals. And as much as we say that, the Spurs don't have a rival necessarily, maybe it's Houston. You look at the Pacers. The Pacers know who their rival is. Historically, it's who? the Knicks.
Yeah.
For the Knicks can go off and say that their rivals the Celtics, or the Knicks can go off and say that their rival is whomever, right? Brooklyn down the street, Subway Series, whatever. But they're true rivals, the Pacers. Because when we think about them in playoff time, we think about that. And the going back to the mid-90s when John Starks missed those free throws. Going back when Patrick Ewing missed that bunny. Which one was the bigger collapse? Was it last night or was it that? Because historically, it was last night. But in my heart, I'm looking back at Patrick Ewing missing the bunny. I'm looking at John Starks, who had no desire to shoot those free throws down the stretch and bricked both of them.
Look at Jonathan C. The Spurs' biggest rival is the playoffs.
Biggest rival was Pop for a while there. My goodness.
Oh, God. Did you know we're going to have to go ahead and move off this subject, even though we love it so much, talking about the debacle that was the Pacers and Knicks game. We do have an MVP to be named, here. And, the league did. They named their MVP yesterday before the Knicks and Pacers game at 6 p.m. our time. And that was none other than Shai. Congratulations to him on winning the MVP. Oklahoma City has three MVPs now that have came out of that team, including one Kevin Durant. You had what's his name, Russell Westbrook, and now you have Shai. So congratulations to him, man. And you know what? There was a video that I'm going to share with you right here. I'm going to go pull it up, Mike. But what are your thoughts on that, man?
On Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I mean, I get it. I mean, if I had a vote, I would have voted Jokic, because Jokic does so much, and he truly is the MVP of that team. The Nuggets are nothing without him.
Yeah.
You say Shai Gilgeous-Alexander off of the OKC team, they're still going to be fine. They're still going to be a 500 team without him. But he did deserve to have that consideration out there. It was a good MVP season, and it gives me hope, because who was he mentored by a few years ago? He was mentored by Chris Paul. And I'm hoping that translates into the development of Stephon Castle as he progresses with his NBA career, hopefully with the Spurs.
Yeah, and we have a video that I wanted to share here with you. And this video is showing Shai and what he gifted his team after he was named the league MVP. I'm going to go ahead and play that for you guys. And this is video courtesy of, I'm forgetting, let me see, the OKC Thunder on the X. So this is the official their official X page.
I know I've said it a million times in there, and it sounds cliche, but really, this is not possible without you guys, and I know that. I appreciate you guys, love you guys, and just to, I guess, show my love, I got some gifts for y'all. Actually, you know what? Everyone just come over here and grab it, and then open it up like Christmas, guys. And there is some wrist work in there that I promised y'all. Y'all have fun. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all boys, man. Oh my God. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, bro. Let me get you I want mine. Oh, you open it. What you hit? I can't even open it, bro. Come on. Keep it in.
That's a lot of ice, bro.
That's class right there, man. I like it. That's class. That shows leadership. That shows humbleness. I like it. I like it a lot. Congratulations to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Now he gets my vote. He gets my vote now, Joe, for MVP.
It takes care of his boys.
Let's give some love to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5. He does that daily black and silver and black Spurs coverage.
Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on Threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow, not only on Threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@LockedOnSpurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
Now, I'll be the guest on tomorrow's Locked On Spurs. And, Joe, I said something in the last 2 minutes of the show, last 2 minutes of the podcast, that perked up Jeff Garcia's ears, and he was like, "Oh my God, I cannot believe you said that. We're gonna take that clip. We're gonna take that clip. I cannot believe you said that." That's going to be on tomorrow's Locked On Spurs. But again, he drops daily content every day. He has an article about Jeremy Sohan talking about the outlook for next season. Again, you can follow him at Jeff G Spurs Zone, or go to kens5.com and follow Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs. More than 7,500 subscribers. I listen to Locked On Spurs in my car on Spotify. You can subscribe that way as well. Fantastic. Joe, something controversial about what I said there, and I know it's going to be a topic of conversation, but I think you're going to like what I said. We'll talk about it tomorrow, Joe.
Okay.
It'll be a topic for tomorrow when it comes to it all.
Like somebody in the chat saying hand over fist saying actually met Shy, got his autograph. Nicest dude. Had my Spurs jersey on. He didn't care.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Joe, I know it has nothing to do with sports, man, but if you could show a photo of it, did you see he was on the Pat McAfee show yesterday on ESPN?
No, who was it?
Tom Cruise was on there. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
For the longest time, I have been so tired of Tom Cruise. I believe Tom Cruise is the biggest movie star of my lifetime, right? Going all the way back to the early 80s.
Yeah. He's shit crazy, man, but he's a big star, yeah.
Now, the Mission Impossible movie premieres today. It's the fifth one. It's the last in the installments.
He's going to be in San Antonio today, bro.
Yes, that's right. He's showing the screening over at Fort Sam Houston. I believe he's also going to be at River Center Mall at the AMC over there. He might actually make an appearance at another theater here in San Antonio.
Here's also the thing that.
All right.
But it's interesting to see what he did on the Pat McAfee show. Pat McAfee was supposed to have him on for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? Had him on for 35 minutes.
Jeez, bro.
Tom Cruise just kept going and going and going. And at the end of the interview, Pat McAfee was like, I don't know if I pissed him off or not. Like, we were only supposed to be 10 minutes, but he was being so nice that he just kept going with it. It might have been the best interview I've seen Tom Cruise ever do, and it might be the best interview I've ever seen Pat McAfee do. It shows that he's actually getting good at his job. He's beyond becoming a good podcaster and having a funny show. His interviewing skills were top-notch yesterday when it came to it all.
Yeah.
And Cruise talking about what he does to using sports analogies to describe what he does when he does his stunts and things like that. And he was like, yeah, when I get hit this way, it's like a wide receiver getting hit up the middle. You know, when the plane hits me in this direction and whatnot, that's real and all that stuff. And he goes on and talks about like how to become an actor and how to be good at your job and how to chase your dream and all that stuff. Tom Cruise to me has been a weirdo for so long.
Yeah.
But that interview made him human.
It made him human, but you know what? He went on to say how to be a great actor, how to be a great stuntman, but he didn't mention how to be a great father because let's face it, man, at the end of the day, he does not have a relationship with his child, dude. And that thing.
Oh, I have no idea,
bro. Yeah, that sucks, bro, because for all the fame that he has, you know, and he not knocking him, you know, he is a great actor in his own right. He's, you know, going to garner a whole bunch of money doing the Mission Impossible film franchise. And even when it's probably in syndication somewhere and on the streaming platforms. But at the end of the day, it's like, you also got to amend your relationship with your only kid there, man.
Well, I don't know what's going on with that. If that was the case, half the NBA and half the NFL, if we cared about that, half the NBA and half the NFL would not exist.
True enough. Look, case in point, what happened with old boy's name? Ant-Man. He
Ant-Man.
paid all the child support up front and said, I'm done, man.
Right. So I don't know where we're going to hold Cruise under the fire when it comes to all
just
that.
saying, man.
But here's the thing. If you can look up Tom Cruise popcorn, it was the funniest part of it all because one of the guys that is the producer of his show, Pat McAfee, allowed each of the producers to ask a question. And one of the producers asked Tom Cruise if he's an effing weirdo because of the way that he eats popcorn. Look up on Twitter real fast, Tom Cruise eating popcorn, and tell me what you think. Because how do you eat popcorn? The way that anybody normally eats popcorn is you have the bucket, you pick it up like this, you put it in your mouth, right?
Yeah.
Your fingers almost touch your lips. Maybe sometimes they do, right? But they showed video of Tom Cruise eating popcorn because he says that popcorn is his favorite snack because it's about the movies and all that. And the video that they showed of him eating popcorn looked weird, Joe, because he throws it into his mouth violently.
Yeah, I think I got it.
So let's see him. Let's see him eat. He violently throws it into his face. And there's video of him at inside of a theater eating, and he's picking it up and he's rifling it into his his diet. See that? And there's all these videos of him doing that. So it's not like a one-time thing. They showed different videos of him eating, and they're like, "Why are you rifling it into your mouth? Are you a weirdo? Just chunking it in."
Jeez,
so funny, dude.
He's not even eating it. He's a big ass faker.
But the thing about Tom Cruise went on to talk about how, well, actually, it wasn't him that brought it up. It was McAfee brought up the fact that Steven Spielberg credits Tom Cruise for saving the movie industry during COVID, because all movie production had stopped because of it all. Yeah. And apparently Tom Cruise was lying to the movie studios, and he knows people from all these studios, and he would lie to them by saying, "Hey, Paramount's doing this, and 20th Century Fox is doing this, and Disney's doing this, and blah, 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 blah." And he was lying. He was lying to get them to start producing something, like to think, "Oh my God, our competitors are doing something. We got to do something." So it kind of built the movies, and he was talking about how, "Oh, this is They're like, who eats popcorn like that? He chunks it.
Jesus, dude, a freaking weird ass man.
Hey, he's hooking up with Ana de Armas now, man. So
hey, she likes weird, I guess. But we got a comment
back in the day with Sofia Vergara as well, man. So I mean,
yeah, we got a incoming chat from Matt Gomez, friend of the show here. Thank you, Matt. He says, real quick, he goes, Joe, Hefe, Star Wars night on the 31st at SAFC game. It says, international friendly, have a good one, boy.
Nice.
So they're going to have Star Wars night at the SAFC game on the 31st over at Toyota Field. Maybe something I need to go check out, maybe.
Hey, take the show for a few seconds. I got to sneeze.
Yeah, go ahead, man. So we're going to go ahead and move on here. We're going to go ahead and talk about some other things as well. I wonder if we have anything going right now in the entertainment news besides just Tom Cruise, because I know he's going to make an appearance. He's going to be, like you said, at Fort Sam, and he's also going to be making an appearance at the AMC Theater, River Center Theater downtown. I don't know if it's going to be a Q&A kind of session, though, with him. I don't know if he's just going to come in and kind of just wave hi to everybody and say, enjoy the movie or something. Is he going to come in before? Is he going to make an appearance after the film? Mm-hmm. There's not really no indication of what's going to happen. If you'd have to ask me, I think he would come in before the film starts, kind of wave hi to everybody, tell everybody have a, fun watching the film and whatnot, probably say hi real quick and then just take off, because he's probably a busy guy and he's got another, let's say, stint somewhere else to go ahead and promote the film before it actually is officially out there, because I know it's going to be out there today. There was some screenings that happened yesterday. Officially, it gets underway on Friday. I'm probably going to go and watch it because I do enjoy the Mission Impossible films. Mm-hmm. This is probably the last one that you're going to see with Tom Cruise at the helm. If they decide to have a continuation, there's going to be a new star, and it's not going to be Tom Cruise.
Jonathan C. reaches out to us in our chat, powered by MCS General Contracting, saying, AMC theaters, come for the movies, stay for the mold.
True enough, because that
I can't remember the last time I went to the River Center Mall for a movie. Golly, man, it's been 20 years.
I'll tell you what, man, the seats that they have over at the AMC Theater over in River Center, this is before they supposedly renovated the place, man. They were tiny, dude. Mm-hmm. And they were all wood, from the side where the armrest, they were all wood. It was like, there was no give. It was just a very uncomfortable chair, man. It's almost like going to a theater like the Majestic or something. You know how they have those old style chairs that are very uncomfortable, but you're just there to watch the show? That's kind of the same consensus with these chairs that they had. They didn't have like the stadium seating or anything. It was very old school, man. And even the carpet looked old. Everything inside looked old. even when you went to like the IMAX over there in the River Center,
Yeah.
it's still the same way that it looked like when we were kids, man. It's old.
I mean, oh, this is great. I gotta pause this on my TV screen just to tell you what they're talking about here. This is funny. No, back in the day when they had the comedy club there, and I don't know if it's still there or not.
The Laugh Out Loud, it moved now.
You'd have the crowd like intermix between the movies and the comedians, and there was too many people there, and then you had to get parking in the garage. And if there's one thing I hate, Joe, I hate parking in parking garages. I do it, but it gives me anxiety the second I drive in there. Just hate it. By the way, Stephen A. Smith right now is had a countdown. No, they asked him the 5 worst New York Knicks memories for him.
God.
He has his number 5 Haliburton last night, making that shot and doing the choke symbol.
Yeah.
He has number 4, Reggie Miller, 8 points in 9 seconds to beat them in the playoffs there back in the 90s. He has Charles Smith missing the layup in a playoff game.
Yeah.
He has Patrick Ewing's missed finger roll in Game 7.
Jeez.
The bunny.
Yeah.
And then he has John Starks Game 7, 1994 finals when he just wet the bed.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and show you.
All that makes me happy, by the way, because screw Knick fan.
Yeah.
And Laker fan.
Sure that. I was going to go ahead and show something on screen here. And a new bit of technology we're going to be using on the show here. So I'm able to show what I'm seeing on my phone now, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and open to where we're going to have a kind of like a catch-all. So we're going to have a special number that people can go ahead and text us live,
Mm-hmm.
We can show the text coming in, pictures they want to share, videos they want to share with us, so they can actually contribute to the show as we're doing this. So this is a graphic that Elias did, and I'm just going to show that here on the screen. It looks pretty cool. This is a Wemby graphic that he did. He put it on the X, so if you want to go ahead and check it out, maybe download a Wemby wallpaper for your phone. There you go, courtesy of Elias. Good job.
Very nice. Very nice. I sent you a text message yesterday. I don't know if you could show it, but it's of James Pledger.
I could show it.
Yeah, maybe the audio is not up to sync yet. But we asked yesterday for people to send in video clips of themselves, 3 to 5 second video clips that we can have as drops for the show. Just little sound clips, right?
Yeah.
And like we're dying for Chris Leha from MCS General Contracting to send us one that says "F them picks," right?
So here's the one of Pledger, and he's saying basically calling you a moron.
He's like, Jimenez, you moron. That'll be dropped into it all. So we'll do that. So we'll add to them all, and we'll have them as drops as time goes on. And then we want Matt Laramie to "I'm still with you, Sohan." That'd be a great one as well. So we're starting to collect these.
Yeah, and it's just like like I said, we're dealing with we're not dealing, but we're bringing in a whole slew of different type of technology here into the show because that's what I do for a living. And now that we're able to go ahead and show what I see on the phone, it's not going to just be on my phone. I have a tablet that I bought for the studio, and we're going to go ahead and just put out that number that's just for the tablet, and that way the listeners can not only send us something via chat, if they want to go ahead and show that. It's just a different avenue, I guess you could say, that we're going to use to interact with everybody. It's kind of like being able to share media, videos, pictures, whatever you all want to share. So now you all are, making this part of the show. You're part of the show.
Jonathan C wants to send us one that says it's Marbach nice.
Hey,
he wants that. He wants that to be his assignment. Leha, let's keep it PG-13, my man. I know you say you're going to use the whole F word. Let's make it PG-13 and just call them F them picks, because that's the way we call it. It's F them picks, right? Very, very, very cool. Speaking of Leha, let's give some love to MCS General Contracting.
Yeah, let's go ahead and give them some love. MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business, honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, Reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leha over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show.
That Diamond Heart Concrete, they're just badasses of what they do. Let's just call it what it is. Let's show their number, 210-774, I believe it's 9155, 210-774-9155 for your concrete placement needs. Slabs, swimming pools, pickleball courts, basketball courts, whatever you need. Become ADA compliant, a parking lot. They can do it all. They do a fantastic job, not only for individuals, but for businesses and for companies as well, for government entities, things like that. Give them a call. And not only that, Joe, they've got some pretty badass swag, man. This is their Yetis that they have over here.
Nice.
I've got two of them. And then the back, what does it say, Joe? What does it say in the back?
Diamond Hard.
Diamond Hard, baby. Diamond Hard. Very, very, very nice. Let's show my number while we're at it. 210-508-0369. I have been in financial services for 19 years, celebrating my 20-year anniversary in August. That basically means I'm a financial advisor and planner. I was on the management side for many, many years. Now I am my own business when it comes to financial planning and advising. Been doing it since COVID. Manage over $21 million in assets. I love doing what I do. Help people with retirement strategies. So if you have questions about your 401k rollovers, 403b rollovers, 457, TSP, whatever the case may be, give me a call. I handle investments, and I handle them in a different way compared to most advisors out there. Most advisors out there just give you mutual funds and then send you on your little way. We do things a little bit differently over here. I also do life insurance, disability, long-term care. I also hire life insurance agents. I hire financial advisors and planners. Give me a call, 210-508-0369, 508-0369.
There you go. And they're showing some clips here from the Around the Horn. But I was going to say, I have the picture that you sent of the soup that Chica made. You want me to show that?
Oh, yeah, let's go ahead and show that.
Yeah, there's the soup. The meatball soup is what I called it.
Man.
Look at that.
Chica takes care of her brother. I got to say that. It was pretty good. It was a meatball soup, I guess you can say. It had peas in there. It had potatoes. It had a couple of other vegetables in there. Onion. It was really good, dude. She had that with some flour tortillas from HEB. She made that from scratch, and then she turned around and made some chalupas with it. Homegirl took care of me. And I am still fasting, Joe. I'm telling you, man, I'm on that fasting grind. And right now I'm checking to see, is it time for me to eat? How long has it been since I last ate? It has been 17 hours and 21 minutes since I last ate. So I'm waiting for the show to end because Daddy needs some food in him. God, it's been 17 hours. Jeez. It's a long fast.
Yeah, man. So I was going to also go ahead and hide this for now, but we have something here that I was going to show you. And this is the ending to Around the Horn, man. Final sign off here, brother. The end of an era, Mike. I mean, I know that you used to watch it way back when, and this is the end.
FaceTime is one of my favorite parts of the show because we were FaceTime before FaceTime. No offense, iPhones, but that's what we were called. And it's a chance to talk about whatever you like. I never mute a FaceTime. And you don't have to just talk about the show and say nice things. It could be, any shopping cart debate we've had before. We've had serious ones and we've had fun ones. First, to Harry Lyles, FaceTime, please.
Tony, I have wanted to do this show since I was 9 years old. I just wanted to thank my mom, dad, sister, brother, Josh. Thank you for that phone call in 2019. My uncle Carl and Aunt Edith, I'm going to miss your text messages after the show. The rest of my friends and family in Evansville, Indiana, I love you guys. Whitney Medworth, Jessica Smetana, Alex Kirshner, Matt Gilbert, Ferruccio Jaquan, Tababi, Marissa Tayo, I love you guys. My therapist, if you are struggling with mental health, please keep fighting. I am rooting for you. Aaron Solomon and Eric Rydholm, thank you guys for giving me a chance. Tony, thank you for your friendship and support, especially in times when I could not speak for myself. I am forever indebted to this show and you guys, and I promise you, I will continue to pay it forward.
Mina Kimes.
Mina Kimes. Amazing.
Beautiful, Harry. I just want to say something about Tony Reali. Everybody always talks about how kind.
Yeah, and he goes on, we're not going to show the whole clip, but everybody went and said some kind things. And at the very end, this is kind of the sign off.
Thank you very much. That was a lot, guys. You know how I feel about you. I just wanted to say, we have Frank Isola, Michelle Steele, Ramona Shelburne. This is our family. Help me with the paper toss, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the softball.
And there you go, man.
That was
Send it
courtesy
off.
of ESPN. Tony Reali, that show lasted, about 20 years? He was Stat Boy on PTI back in the day. The one thing, the legacy of PTI and the legacy of Around the Horn is the ability for them to find young journalists, especially young journalists of color.
Yeah.
And they were doing that way before others were. When you saw, Michael Smith and Jamel Hill originally, and then you saw people like Mina Kimes and Pablo Torre. You had Asian people that were on there. You had women, female sportscasters out there getting a chance that they normally wouldn't get, because before that was what? You had the sports reporters, right? Which were these old dudes, right? You had these old dudes, and you had John Saunders there, right? I understand that he had the one African-American guy there, John Saunders. But when he had Mike Lupica and all them, it was just a bunch of old dudes talking sports, and they were all, shouting at the clouds, at the sky, right? But to have a new generation of young talent come in and be mixed in with some of the older ones like Woody Page and Tim Cowlishaw was very, very, very impressive. Tony Reali did a fantastic job. The sad thing about it, though, is I saw an interview with Tony Reali where they asked him, how did he find out that the show was coming to an end? He said they didn't have the balls to tell him. He found out by reading a newspaper article.
They couldn't even tell the brother, man, look, man, you had a good run, but it's time,
So the thing is that, and Jonathan Cisse and Jamel Hill was way too much always playing the victim. She didn't do that on that show. The reality show, that was not Jamel Hill's show. Jamel Hill did that with His and Hers.
Yeah.
No, it was always light and non-political on Around the Horn.
And the thing is, like with the Jamel Hill, that show with His and Hers was a special show because it was different, right? And then when they went ahead and gave him that primetime slot, and then they had to conform, and that conformity is what killed their show.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the thing that ESPN does. And that's the biggest fear that I have for the Pat McAfee show. Pat McAfee show had a following. It kind of had its grassroots growing, kind of gained momentum. It got really popular. He was getting better at what he was doing. Great cast of characters that he had with him. And now that he's teamed up here with ESPN, the House of the Mouse always wants to go ahead and have their hand in the cookie jar some way, somehow. So while it is still the Pat McAfee show, I'm sure there's going to be some changes that are going to be had here because, you are part of the Disney family now that are going to change the complexion of the show itself. And at what point is it still the Pat McAfee show as it's going to go through its changes?
Well, I like whenever you watch the Pat McAfee show. By the way, I was a big Pat McAfee hater for a long, long time because I couldn't stand his podcast.
Yeah.
I was not in the demo. Right, it's kind of like Joe Rogan, right? Joe Rogan has his moments, Pat McAfee has his moments, but I'm not going to listen to Joe Rogan because I'm not one of those dudes. I'm not a bro, It's like, whatever someone has to say that they're alpha male, they're the biggest pussies around, dude. Anyone who describes himself as alpha is pussy. Okay,
tell me what you really don't like, Mike. Tell me more.
It is what it is, because if you have to say it, then you're not it. Okay. So that being said, tangent, the Pat McAfee show, when it got on to ESPN, they have that disclaimer in the front that says, look, we tell jokes. You might be offended by them, but guess what? We tell jokes. We sometimes use curse words because guess what? People in the real world use curse words. It literally says that, and they say it on the disclaimer before the show starts.
Yeah.
And it says, if you have a problem with this, change the channel. And by the way, if you have kids that are watching, you may want to monitor that or get them out of the room.
Yeah.
So they make it a point to say this is not PTI, this is not Around the Horn, this is not Sports Center, that this is an adult show on ESPN that so happens to be in the middle of the day. I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that tremendously. And they drop the occasional curse word. Like you and I, Joe. You and I don't cuss up a storm on this show, but every once in a while we'll throw out a curse word because guess what? That's how dudes talk at a sports bar.
Yeah.
Right? And whether people want to admit it or not, that's how most guys talk. That's how they talk.
Yeah, and we got somebody in here saying Mickey is way woke, which is SR $2001 /
Can we stop saying the word woke? Because I think poorly of people who use the word woke.
Well,
because you know what? Because you know what the word woke really means? If you knew what the word woke really means, you'd be supportive of it. It's the understanding that there are certain factors in society that affect the outcomes of certain things.
Yeah,
that's what it is. I mean, Childish Gambino saying it in Redbone. Stay woke. Well, it's be aware of the surroundings. Be aware of your history. Be aware of certain things. The whitewashing of American history right now that's going on right now is stupid. It is stupid. And when someone says, "Well, it's the wokeness of whatever," shut the hell up. You don't know what you're talking about.
The pushback is it's the bastardization of what is happening in front of us at times. Because I mean, we come from a different era. Right.
Yeah.
And when we saw films, when we saw our shows from back in the day, you listened to radio, anything, it was different, man. You could say certain things, you could do certain things and all that. And as we grow older, and things start to change, society starts to change and whatnot. And you look and see what's happening in the gauge of the film spectrum, and you're having films up there and they have certain characters. And that's where they get that analogy woke, Disney's doing this and that. To try to be all inclusive, right? They're trying to include
political talking points.
Yeah, so they're trying to be more inclusive. Go ahead and let's bring in everybody. Let's make them more inclusive. And that way nobody feels like they're left out. But I understand what's going on. It's kind of like if you're going to have a film or you're going to have a show or anything going on, a lot of these things that happen in the real world, they don't translate well to a lot of the things that are happening in a Disney film. And that's what I think is really the disparity that people have. It's the bastardization of society itself in a nutshell, because you can't do certain things. You can't say certain things. And you can't do that in the context of doing that in front of people or, in front of, putting it on film, putting it on a show that's live or even on a series. But people still talk that way. So It's like, I mean, it is what it is.
So here's the thing. The thing about it is that let's understand that the far left and the far right are both idiots. I'm sorry. I think if you are 100% liberal, you're a effing moron. I think if you're 100% MAGA and believe everything that Trump says, I think you're a moron. The answer is somewhere in the middle. The problem is that we live in a two-party system where the right chooses theirs and they tend to go super conservative. And the left chooses theirs, and they tend to have somebody who's super liberal. Yeah. And really, the answer is centrist, is always centrist. And the left antagonizates the right for 15, 20, 30 years, trying to make things acceptable that most people don't find acceptable. But then what happens? You get the wrath of the right who comes out and disregards certain things about the Constitution these days that is un-American, and they sit there calling themselves patriots when half of them are not. Far left is stupid, far right is stupid. Okay, far left stupid, far right dangerous. Yeah. And the answer is always in the middle, dude. It's always in the middle. But this is where they put labels on them, right? Oh, that's woke. Oh, they're a snowflake. But then you call a far right person a snowflake, and they get their panties in a twist. Because guess who the biggest snowflake is right now?
Oh.
MAGA.
Oh, God.
They have all the power in the world. They have the House, they have the Senate, they have the presidency, and they have 6/9 of the Supreme Court. And they're still bitching. The fuck, man? Seriously, what do you have to argue about? It's just arguing for the sake of arguing. And then you have the far left. I love that post that Chris Lehigh puts on there every once in a while. That one girl. That one lady who's like angry, like has like a vein sticking out. she's like all Karen, Karened out and all that stuff, like liberal Karen. They're idiots too. They're complete idiots. If you are far left, get closer to the middle. If you are far right, get closer to the middle. Because if you're on the polar sides of them all, you're the problem. You're the problem.
Yeah.
Good times. Had
Good
by all.
times.
I'll get
Tap
off,
your hat.
I'll get off my soapbox.
They finally put up, it looks like a while back. I guess it'd been a long time coming. The Gone Fishing for the Boston Celtics, dude. And I'm going to show the picture, dude. It's pretty funny, man. Look at that. They got Conan O'Brien, the great Larry Bird, Mark Wahlberg. They're the Wahlberg brothers there.
Oh, they gone fishing?
They gone fishing, bro. They got everybody there. Look at all that, man.
So let me ask you this. Mark Wahlberg, his background for being a juvenile delinquent and going after people for racially charged things, going after an Asian man and beating up an Asian man.
Yeah.
How far back do you have to go back and live down certain things, man? Because like, I'm sure he's a changed man. He seems to have grown up and matured and stuff like that. But there's certain people who get like people like that movie Superbad. Remember that one time you pissed your pants? That was years ago. People don't forget. There's that aspect of it all, right?
Yeah.
Chris Brown, for example, when he beat up Rihanna, is he ever going to live that one down?
No.
Are there certain things? What if you said that he was 17 or 18 or 19 years old when it happened? It's kind of interesting. But Marky Mark, though, man, what a career that guy's had.
Hey, man, he went ahead and did his thing. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. What a freaking name, bro.
Dude, that the DNA of that song, the DNA of that song was like the Rocky IV soundtrack. Like, when you hear Good Vibrations by Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, don't you just want to get some barbells and just like start to do some curls?
Oh God!
Don't you just want to do some bench pressing when you hear feel the vibration?
Oh no, man! I don't know about that. You know what? I'm going to show this too because we got some more celebrity news here to talk about. And I know you hate, or I don't know if you don't like this actor or not, but the great John Goodman, man. He went ahead and got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And look who showed up, man. The dude himself, Jeff Bridges, man. I know you don't like The Big Lebowski.
Yeah, I never got in that movie.
But look, man, I'm happy for John Goodman. I like John Goodman, dude. Jeff Bridges reunited again, man. Look at he gave him the freaking bag there with the volley with the ball in it. The bowling ball, yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that, man. It's good to see that. He's taking the ball out, dude. What is it? Oh, it's the sweater that he had.
Yeah.
So he was portraying the dude from The Big Lebowski. There you go. My favorite scene from that, man, John Goodman, when they're talking about the Jesus, he's like, he's a pederast. He goes, what is that?
Is that your favorite movie from Jeff Bridges?
No, man. I like other movies from Jeff Bridges, dude. I like one of the other movies that I like from Jeff Bridges and people don't really know or that he came out in was it Tron, dude? I like Tron. Jeff Bridges was in Tron, man. Flynn? Yeah, he was Flynn in there. He came out in the Tron Legacy too. I like that one. They have a new one coming out. I might watch that, but I don't know if it's gonna be any good. They got Jared Leto coming out in that one though, man. It's called Tron Ares. I don't think it's gonna be any good, dude, but I still go watch. But there you go, man.
The movie that he was in back in the early 80s that I found to be funny was Starman.
Oh man, they showed that one on Pluto TV, dude. I saw that the other day, man. I was laughing at how obscure and like way out there that movie was.
Yeah, he's the alien. He's an alien who crashes on Earth or comes to Earth, and he assumes the body and identity of a man who died.
Yeah,
and befriends the widow.
Yeah,
so that was the basis of the movie. One of my favorite lines in that movie was, they're going on this trip. They're trying to get away from the feds or whatever, and she's asking him, do you know how to drive? And he goes, well, I've learned by watching you, so yes. And he almost causes a car crash, and they goes, what do you mean? Did you see the light? He goes, yes, the lights mean green means go, Red means stop, and yellow means go very, very, very fast. That was a line in the Jimenez household for a long time growing up. The other one that I thought was funny, my favorite Jeff Bridges movie was with James Woods and Connie Selica. It was Against All Odds. You had the theme song from Phil Collins, Against All Odds, that was for that movie. Jeff Bridges played a football player. First 5 minutes of the movie, he gets cut because he's injured. He doesn't make the roster because he's injured. He gets cut, and his NFL career is over, and he has no money.
Yeah.
And basically the job is him being hired as a private investigator to follow somebody, and he doesn't know what he's doing. And he gets a crush on the girl that he's spying on. A good movie, dude. That was a good movie. James Woods, complete jerk in that movie. He was a dick in that movie, but that's kind of the role that he plays in basically every movie. And James Woods hadn't been in any big roles up until then.
You don't remember Jeff Bridges in that movie, True Grit, Rooster Cockburn?
Never seen that movie. I don't watch country movies, dude. I don't watch westerns. It's a western, right?
Come on, bro. You don't watch western? I love westerns. I love a good western, man. The True Grit, man. Rooster Cockburn. And it's different. The one that they did with Jeff Bridges is different from the original, because the original had the great John Wayne in it, and I liked them both.
Yeah, I mean the channel that they have westerns on on Pluto is actually called the True Grit channel.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, Joe. We have DJ LG on tomorrow, right?
Yeah, DJ LG is going to be in the house. You're going to be on the show with us, so you can go ahead and finally talk and converse with the great LG.
I'm like, why have you been hiding me from LG?
I'm not hiding you from LG. I just tell you, sometimes we have Spernandez on. So if it's Spernandez, it's LG and myself, then we're going to go ahead and talk some boxing, and that's kind of not like your wheelhouse, but Spernandez and me like talking about boxing, and we have various other topics that we bring up as well. It's kind of a different vibe when you're not on the show, when it's just me and Spernandez and LG.
No, the show's good. The show's good.
We just talk about different things.
Greg's asking the question and says that's why you don't like the movie Tombstone, Mike. You don't like westerns. Well, I saw Tombstone again. Goodness, it was about Christmas time. I was in California with my cousins, and we watched it again. Do you know when we watched it? No, it wasn't during Christmas time. It was a couple of months ago when Val Kilmer died. And my cousins in California were like, hey, let's watch a Val Kilmer movie. So we were debating whether to watch The Doors or to watch Top Gun or to watch whatever. And ultimately, I got outvoted, and we decided to watch Tombstone. I watched it again. It was good, but it wasn't good. It was just I mean, I liked it. The ending was good. The back half of the movie is good.
Yeah.
The first 45 minutes of the movie just wake me up when the action starts. Like the first 45 minutes of the movie kind of sucked.
What do you think about this? They have Jeff Bridges, says, from Cinema Connoisseur. This is way back when, though. And they put Jeff Bridges' best performances: The Big Lebowski, True Grit, Crazy Heart, Hell or High Water, and Tron.
Yeah. Tron, I remember Tron growing up, man.
Yeah.
I saw that as a kid. That's one of the few movies I did watch as a kid. I remember them riding these motorcycle thingies. I don't know.
Light cycles.
And they have the colors of blue and red and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it's about. I remember playing the video game growing up. But if you ask me what the movie was about, I'm not going to remember.
It's about the grid, man. It's about the virtual element of things, because when they're showing you playing those light cycles and all that, you're in the virtual world. It's like programs inside the computer, living as people. They have a persona,
Yeah.
So that's what they're talking about, because he gets digitized when he's in front of that laser, and they take him and they put him inside they digitize him, everything about him, his human form, and they put him inside the program. You're inside the computer.
Yeah.
So he takes the likeness of a computer program, but he's a human, and then he comes back out, all that kind of thing. That's basically what the movie is. Gets digitized, gets put into the virtual world, gets back out at the end of the day,
Yeah.
And Tron is nothing more than a sentient program. It's a program designed to fight for the user.
Yeah. I mean, it was probably ahead of its time, and
Yeah.
I don't see any problem with that. The Big Lebowski though, I could not get into. I just, and you know what it is? I hate John Goodman. I like
Aw,
Jeff Bridges.
bro,
John
come
Goodman,
on.
like when I watched the movie Flight with Denzel Washington, and John Goodman comes, he plays the same damn character in everything that he does. He's annoying as F. He looks like he smells, and I just do not want to watch John Goodman in anything. I hated the show Roseanne and the Arnolds and all that stuff. I just don't. John Goodman just turns me off. He just, I don't know. He looks like he smells like cigarettes. I don't know.
Oh, come on, man. You know what other movie I kind of liked? And I don't even think it had Jeff Bridges in it, but I saw it the other day on, I think it was Pluto or something like that. No Country for Old Men. I don't know if you ever watched that one.
I've seen some of it. I've heard it's really good. I'm not going to bag on it because I liked what I saw.
Did you see White Chicks?
Not yet, because I kept watching Breaking Bad last night, and I started watching the new Brett Favre documentary on Netflix where they go after him.
Have you seen Sicario?
Sicario. That's a drug movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I want to say that I have. I'm not sure.
Sicario, man, that's a good one. Benicio del Toro.
Yeah, I remember Benicio del Toro. I just, if I did watch it, it didn't make an impression on me.
Oh, it's a damn good film, dude. I don't know how that can't make an impression on you.
Yeah,
and then they had the sequel.
Del Toro had a run like a 4 or 5 year run where he was a thing.
Yeah, man. No, that's a banger, dude. I like that one. And then they have Sicario 2, and that was the Day of the Soldado. You know, that one's a good one too, man. I don't know if you've seen it, but you should. If you haven't seen it, that's a good one as well. The other one that I wanted you to see was Sicario, but you got to watch White Chicks for sure, man. You got to check that one.
No, I told Chica it's on my to-do list, and she has agreed. She said that she saw it the first time when it first came out, but that it's been so long that she hasn't watched it since, man.
Yeah, and look at that, Mario Cavazos, Breaking Bad, my #1 show ever.
Yeah, no spoilers, dude. I'm on season 2 right now.
Yeah,
but but Joe, it's 11:30. It's time to hit the road, Joe. We'll be back tomorrow with DJ LG. Right? Is that tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow, man. Friday, dude. You know what? I'm looking forward to it. We are not going to be having a show on Monday because I am off on Monday, and I'll probably be at a lake, a river somewhere, just enjoying time. My days off. Be doing some day drinking over the weekend, dude. It's been a long week, man. Long week.
This weekend, I forgot that it's Memorial Day on Monday. So are we going to have a show on Monday?
No, we're going to not have a show on Monday. We are off on Monday.
Okay.
I'm going to be enjoying my day off, sleeping in late.
So I think Chica and I are going to go to Kima. And
the boardwalk. Yeah.
Enjoy the boardwalk over there. So I think we're going to do that. We're just resting because we've done so much traveling. And we're going to be going on the road again. We're going to have another trip in 2 weeks. So 2 weeks from tomorrow is another trip that we're going on. We're going to Laughlin, Nevada on May 6th.
Gotcha.
Going to hang out with my folks down there, man. I'll spend time with my mom, with Daddy Jimenez and Mommy Jimenez.
Yeah. When are you going to be back in SA so we can have you here in the studio?
Next week. Next week I'll be in.
Because I got your macro buttons up there. You have like a little control panel now next to the laptop. I sent you a picture. So when you push those buttons, the sound effects come out. So now you can be able to control them as well.
I'm going to shoot for Tuesday and Wednesday of next week.
Yeah, there you go, man. So exciting things are going to be happening, man. We're going to bring in some new technology to you guys. And like I said, more interactivity within the show itself. But like me and Mike both said, we are going to be off on Monday. Tomorrow will be the last show for the week. I hope you all have a great day. We're going to be out because Mike's got to get back to work, and so do I.
Yes, sir. Everyone have a fantastic day.
Yep.